These are 13 features automakers stripped from your car to save money, chase trends, or look futuristic, and every single one backfired. Physical buttons, spare tires, AM radio, manual transmissions, the industry is scrambling through its biggest design reversal in decades. VW design chief Andreas Mint put it bluntly in March 2025. He said, "We will never ever make this mistake anymore. Honestly, it is a car. It is not a phone. It is a car." So let's walk through all 13, starting with the one that caused the most damage. Number 1. Physical climate buttons and knobs. These are the controls drivers reach for every single day, and their removal hit hardest. Between 2016 and 2023, automakers like Volkswagen and Hyundai stripped out tactile temperature and fan dials, swapping them for glossy touch panels and sliders. The logic was simple: save $40 to $60 per car, trim a few grams, and ride the wave of digital minimalism. But complaints piled up. Owners fumbled with menus just to adjust heat or defrost. And J.D. Power's 2025 study flagged infotainment as the top source of frustration. Volkswagen's design chief, Andreas Mint, made it official in 2025, saying, "It is a car, not a phone." Hyundai followed, restoring physical controls on the 2025 Tucson and pledging real buttons for future Palisade and Ioniq models. The Volkswagen ID.2 all now features dedicated knobs for fan and temperature, reversing the haptic-only approach. What started as a cost-cutting move became a lesson in usability and a public admission that the basics matter most. And that brings us to another control drivers missed more than automakers ever expected. In second place, the humble volume knob became ground zero for the backlash against digital overreach. When Honda dropped the rotary knob from the 2016 Civic, drivers and reviewers erupted. Adjusting audio meant swiping a finicky slider or tapping tiny plus and minus buttons, hard enough at a stoplight and nearly impossible on a bumpy road. BMW's own telemetry, drawn from 10 million vehicles, revealed the volume knob as the single most used control in the entire cabin. Porsche's Dirk Asfalg put it bluntly: "There's no discussion about keeping the knob." Ford, after a disastrous clinic for the Mustang Mach-E, allegedly resorted to gluing a physical knob onto the touchscreen overnight just to quell complaints. Across brands and continents, automakers learned the same lesson. One small dial, used hundreds of times a week, mattered more than any digital flourish. The volume knob's return isn't just nostalgia, it's a case study in how ignoring real-world use can spark a full-scale reversal. And now, from controls you can see to a signal you can only hear. Third on our list, the humble turn signal stalk became an unlikely battleground for safety and sanity. Tesla's decision to delete the stalk, first on the Model S and Model X, then the Model 3 Highland, was supposed to usher in a cleaner, more futuristic cockpit. Instead, it triggered a wave of confusion and frustration. Drivers struggled with force touch buttons on the steering wheel, especially in roundabouts and quick maneuvers, where muscle memory and tactile feedback matter most. NHTSA complaints spiked after the change, and a What Car survey found nearly 9 out of 10 Tesla owners wanted the stalk back. With no official fix, the aftermarket stepped in. And Howdo's retrofittable stock kits sold out repeatedly, as thousands of owners paid hundreds just to restore a basic function. Tesla's own forums filled with demands for a proper solution. Meanwhile, Euro NCAP's new safety protocols signaled a turning point. Physical controls for signals and hazards are now essential for top ratings. Even Tesla's Lars Moravy reportedly admitted that maybe we deleted too much. What started as a minimalist design flex became a costly lesson. Critical controls cannot be soft-keyed or left to chance. The return of the stalk is more than nostalgia. It is a correction demanded by safety, regulation, and the people who actually drive the cars. And now, from the signals we use every day, to the radio waves we hope we never need. Number 4. AM radio, once considered obsolete, is now at the center of a national policy fight. In the rush to modernize dashboards and cut costs, automakers like Ford, BMW, and Tesla quietly dropped analog AM receivers from new models, citing interference from electric drivetrains and a shrinking audience. But what they overlooked was AM radio's role as the backbone of America's emergency alert system. Today, 86% of primary warning stations still broadcast on AM, and when wildfires, hurricanes, or tornadoes strike, it is often the only signal that cuts through. That reality sparked a rare bipartisan push in Congress, the AM for Every Vehicle Act. By February 2026, the bill had drawn 228 House co-sponsors, an overwhelming show of support rarely seen in auto regulation. Ford, facing mounting pressure from lawmakers and safety advocates, reversed course in 2024, reinstating AM radio across its entire lineup. The message was clear: some features are not optional. AM radio's return marks a turning point, where public safety and civic responsibility forced the industry to admit that not everything can be replaced by an app. And as the debate over survival tools continues, another once essential feature is quietly making its way back into the trunk. Number 5. The humble spare tire, once standard in every trunk, then quietly erased in the name of efficiency. Between 2017 and 2024, automakers dropped spares from nearly half of all new vehicles, chasing a promise of lower weight and a theoretical fuel savings of less than 0.3 of a mile per gallon. The real motivation was cutting $80 to $120 per car off the bill of materials. But the math did not add up for drivers stranded on the side of the road. AAA now reports that more than 30% of flat tire calls end in a tow, not a quick fix, up from just 12% a decade ago. The backlash hit hardest in mainstream models like the Toyota RAV4 and Camry, where buyers expected reliability above all. In 2025, Toyota reversed course, restoring full-size or donut spares to every trim, including hybrids. The industry's lesson was simple: a few pounds saved in the factory can cost hours of frustration on the highway. As automakers relearn the value of real-world preparedness, another enthusiast favorite is quietly shifting back into gear. Number 6. Manual transmissions were once left for dead, and now they are roaring back in the hands of true believers. For years, automakers phased out 3-pedal gearboxes, citing emissions rules, certification cuts, and the march toward automation. But when the option remained, the response was anything but niche. Subaru's BRZ sees 90% of buyers choosing a manual. The WRX is not far behind at 85%. Porsche's 911 GT3 Touring registers 83%. Even Toyota, after launching the Supra as automatic only, caved to demand. And now 56% of Supras sold shift their own gears. In 2026, at least 24 models will still offer a manual, a testament to the passion that data alone cannot explain. Automakers admit certification costs, limit broader availability, but where the choice exists, enthusiasts are voting with their wallets. The manual's survival is not a mass-market reversal. It is a targeted, undeniable win for the drivers who care most. And as brands scramble to recapture lost loyalty, the next chapter lands right on the steering wheel, where a different kind of control controversy is still unfolding. Number 7. Steering wheel touch buttons. What began as a sleek design statement quickly became a reputation headache for some of the world's most storied brands. Volkswagen's Golf 8 and ID series led the charge, swapping tried-and-true physical switches for glossy capacitive pads. The theory was modernity and cost savings, but the reality was a flood of owner complaints. Drivers reported accidental presses, missed inputs, and a total loss of tactile feedback, issues that turned daily commutes into digital guessing games. Forums and owner surveys filled with frustration, and Volkswagen CEO Thomas Schaefer did not mince words. He said touch controls did a lot of damage to the brand. Audi took note, announcing a return to physical scroll wheels for the 2026 model year, while Ferrari faced its own backlash from clients who expected precision, not guesswork, at 200 miles per hour. No lawsuits materialized, but the reputational risk was clear. In the end, the promise of futuristic controls collapsed under the weight of real-world usability, and the industry's course correction was swift. But not everyone listened that carefully. Some automakers thought a new revenue stream could make up for lost trust. Number 8. BMW's heated seat subscription, an experiment in paywalling comfort that backfired almost instantly. In 2022, BMW rolled out a plan that let drivers unlock seat heaters for $18 a month, $176 a year, or a $406 lifetime fee, even though the hardware was already built into every car. The logic was pure business: streamline assembly, then charge for activation. But 92% of consumers flatly rejected the idea, according to a Cox Automotive survey. Forums lit up with outrage over what felt like paying twice for the same feature, and lease customers in cold climates were especially vocal. Peter Noda, BMW's board member for sales, summed up the fallout. Perception is reality. By September 2023, BMW pulled the plug on the heated seat subscription worldwide, quietly shifting its focus to software-based add-ons instead. The reversal sent a message to the entire industry. When pricing strategies cross the line from clever to greedy, drivers push back hard. And as brands recalibrate their approach to design and value, the next regret lands squarely on the front end, where identity and tradition collide. Number 9. The return of the Mercedes standing hood star is proof that sometimes a single detail can define an entire brand. In 2021, Mercedes swept the EQS sedan's hood clean, chasing the minimalist, tech-forward look that dominated luxury design in the early electric vehicle era. But for many buyers, especially in China, where status cues drive sales, the missing three-pointed star was not just an omission, it was a deal-breaker. Dealers reported lost orders and blunt feedback. Without the emblem, the car simply did not look like a Mercedes. Analysts flagged the move as a misread of core luxury values, where heritage signals can matter more than any digital flourish. By 2025, Mercedes reversed course, restoring the upright hood ornament on the EQS facelift. The company's own press kit called it a nod to timeless identity. But the real message was clear. Prestige is not just about software or screens. In markets where tradition carries weight, even the smallest visual cue can make or break a sale. And as Mercedes reclaims its visual DNA, another German rival is quietly shrinking its own bold experiment. Number 10. BMW's oversized kidney grills, a design detour that became a punchline across the car world. When BMW unleashed the so-called bucktooth grille on the 2024 series, the reaction was immediate and brutal. Social media lit up with more than 1 million negative mentions between 2020 and 2024, with memes and mock-ups outpacing even BMW's own marketing. The company's rationale was classic: make a bold, unmistakable statement for the electric era, stand out in a sea of sameness, and tap into heritage. But the execution left even loyalists shaking their heads. Dealers reported lost sales, and design chief Domagoj Dukek spent months defending the look in interviews. By late 2025, the message had landed. BMW's Neue Klasse roadmap calls for shrinking the grille across more than 40 models by 2027, a move confirmed by design boss Andreas Mint, who admitted, "We will never ever make this mistake anymore." The reversal is sweeping. The 2026 iX3 3 Series and X5 are all slated for smaller, more traditional grilles. For BMW, the lesson is clear: when design excess drowns out brand identity, the backlash is swift and measurable. As the grille shrinks back to its roots, the industry's retreat from over-design is now official. Number 11. The rules are about to get a lot tougher for digital dashboards. Starting in January 2026, Euro NCAP, the group behind Europe's gold standard crash ratings, will require every car to have physical, glove-friendly controls for 5 critical functions: turn signals, windshield wipers, hazard lights, the horn, and the emergency SOS. No more hiding these behind menus or touchscreens. The new protocol draws a hard line. If you want a top safety rating, these must be real buttons, not software or sliders. The rationale is direct. When seconds count, drivers cannot afford to hunt through screens, especially with gloves on in winter or rain. Automakers are scrambling to comply, with design chiefs admitting the era of all-touch interfaces went too far. Euro NCAP director Matthew Avery put it plainly. He said that overuse of touchscreens is an industry-wide problem. This is no longer just a matter of consumer complaints or brand image. It is a regulatory pivot. The message is unmistakable. For safety's sake, some controls must stay physical, and the design pendulum has swung back by mandate, not just by choice. Number 12. The physical key fob. A feature so basic its removal seemed almost invisible until disaster struck. In 2025, Rivian tried to go all in on phone as key for its R1T and R1S trucks, betting that drivers would embrace digital convenience. The backlash was instant. Owners flooded support channels with lockout horror stories, phones dying, apps glitching, Bluetooth failing at the worst possible moments. Headlines followed: entire families stranded, roadside assistance overwhelmed, and a new wave of skepticism about relying solely on smartphones for critical access. Ford, meanwhile, never dropped the fob, keeping it standard on the F-150, and even offering novelty options like the $200 belt buckle remote. The industry answer was hybrids. The 2026 trend is clear. Cars now ship with a physical fob, a digital keycard, and optional phone pairing, each one a backup for the others. Automakers quietly admit what drivers already knew. Redundancy is not old-fashioned. It is essential. The return of the fob closes the loop on hardware reversals, a final nod to real-world reliability over digital wishful thinking. 13 features removed, 13 regrets, 13 reversals underway. The all-touch screen experiment is done. Subscribe, like, and tell us which lost feature you want back most. And finally, in 13th place, ventilated seats, once a symbol of luxury, are quietly slipping into the mainstream. For years, cooled seat cushions were reserved for flagship sedans and six-figure SUVs, a comfort feature that signaled you had made it. But as automakers scramble to win back trust and loyalty, comfort is trickling down. The 2025 Hyundai Sonata Limited, with a manufacturer, suggested retail price just under $36,000, now offers ventilated front seats as standard. Toyota's 2025 Camry XSE, priced around $34,000, adds them as a factory option, a first for a model once defined by reliability, not indulgence. This shift is not about survival or safety. It is about delivering a tangible upgrade that drivers can feel every day. especially in sweltering summers or on long commutes. After years of cost-cutting and comfort downgrades, brands are now betting that real-world amenities matter more than minimalist dashboards or digital showpieces. Ventilated seats going mainstream is proof. Sometimes the best course correction is simply making cars better to live with. 13 features removed, 13 regrets, 13 reversals underway. The all-touchscreen experiment is done. Subscribe, like, and tell us which lost feature you want back most. Across all 13 reversals, one pattern is undeniable. When design trends and cost-cutting collide with what actually works for drivers, reality wins. Data, regulation, and consumer backlash forced automakers to admit their mistakes, publicly or not. The features coming back aren't nostalgia. They're proof that usability and safety can't be engineered away. The future of driving is a course correction. Like what you saw? Subscribe, comment below, and join the conversation.